This is Abhijit Kumar Jha, and in this video, we'll try to understand how do we handle special characters in your REST API URL. So first, let's understand what do I mean. What's the problem with special characters in your URL? Okay, and what do I even mean by this problem? Okay, so for this, I have a pretty simple application ready over here. So there's nothing much, just a REST controller. Okay, so as you can see, just a REST controller, uh, which has one mapping, department slash id. Okay, so the idea is I have some data and I've kept it very simple. I haven't used no db, no files, no json. I've just have one hash map, its id, and then some information about it. Okay, so it's basically some department name, or department id is like this, and then you can have this and the data about this department. Now this data is definitely in a hash map, but you will get this data in real life projects, in bigger projects in industries and in big tech companies, from your maybe from your database or from a LDAP server, something like that. Okay, uh, but for extreme simplicity, I've just kept a hash map. Okay, so the idea is that if I hit this id, I want to get this id from path variable, and I want to return whatever is in this map. Okay, so if I do department slash the id rnd delhi, I should get this data, and departments like manufacturing asia and africa, I should get this data, and so on. Okay, so let's run it and see what's happening. Okay, okay, so I think this is very simple. This strategy, we use it a lot. Okay, so if I go here and write the rnd, it's not coming automatically. Okay, rnd delhi, and I press enter. Okay, so I am getting the data I need, right? Team size is 3000. If I go to this and pass this ID over here, you will see a very peculiar problem. Okay, so this is ID that is pretty simple. A lot of companies have such IDs. Okay, but if I press enter, it's going to show 404 not found. Why? Because it's never hitting your controller, right? Your controller is not designed to handle such URLs. It's basically reading it as departments like manufacturing Asia slash Africa. So slash Africa URL exists nowhere. Okay, it's not taking this entire thing as a one piece. Okay, as one ID. It's not taking that entire thing as one ID. So how do we handle such situations? Okay, so if you have such scenarios in your program, in your software, what you can do is you can handle generic URLs. So what do I mean by this? I can write get mapping. Okay, again go to slash department slash star star. So this basically means that anything uh, after department, okay, is going to be captured by this get mapping. You might have multiple things. Okay, you might have id slash member. Okay, doesn't matter. After all these things end, okay, if you have such complicated IDs, what you can do is just write departments slash star star. So this star star, what it will do is that if there is an ID which doesn't goes in any of the controllers, in any of the mappings, okay, sorry, then what's going to happen is it's going to enter here, and let's public string, mm, it's a edge case, so I'll name it edge case. Okay, and at the rate again path, no, I will not take path variable this time. What I'll do is I'll take the entire request and process it manually. Okay, over here this request is being processed automatically by spring boot. You will process it manually. How do we do that? We write http servlet request. Okay, so now I am taking the request directly instead of the path variable in the request. Okay, and then let's do one thing. String str, or I should say actually url request dot get request uri. Okay, and just return this URL for now. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, cool. So let's rerun it and see. Okay, now if I run this now, what's going to happen is it entered this mapping now. Okay, earlier it was going nowhere, and there was that's why you were getting 404 not found error, because there was no mapping with respect to such kind of request. This can handle that request. Now we're just printing the URL, right? We're just printing the URL. Now you can just see what's going on is department slash this. Now you want to take entirety of this as one ID, right? You want to take entirety of this as one ID. So what can you do? What can you do? uh, I think there's a simple trick that we can use, is that we can split it, right? We can just split it, and we can split on the basis of this, right? And now you have have a array of strings which has the ID, right? So let's form this ID. So I know that my ID is just URL, um, the last two values in this array is going to be my ID, right? Last two values. So uh, URL dot length minus 2 plus URL dot length. Now obviously depending on the ID you might have to do, you know, a bunch of different calculations, so different not calculations, operations on it. Okay, and it will vary, but in my case it's very simple. Um so now this is the ID, right? So let's see the ID now. Okay, let's see the ID, how it is forming. So my ID should be looking like this: manufacturing Asia slash Africa. If I run this now, okay, it is manufacturing Asia and Africa. Okay, slash is missing. I'll add the slash in between. So it is slash. So when I split, basically the slash was gone. I'll add the slash back again. And one more thing I'm observing is it has percentage 20, percentage 20. So it represents the spacing between them. Okay, and that's it. That's what it represents. It represents the spacing between them. And we can get rid of it, right? We can just get rid of it, because in our actual ID percentage 20 doesn't exist. It happened because you are manually handled this request. If you do not do that, it's gonna it happens automatically. Okay, the spring boot takes care of everything, but you will have to remove this manually. ID dot replace, it's very simple, just percentage 20 with nothing more than a space, not repeat, sorry, replace. Okay, let's run again and see. Okay, so this looks like our ID now. Okay, so let's try and return it. Map.it, map.get ID. Okay, so as you can see, because it was not being processed automatically, I had to do it manually. Okay, and I think it should work. Let's see. Okay, okay, yeah, and that's it. So it works. So this is how you handle any URLs which has special characters like slash. You might encounter other special characters as well in your ID. If you do, you can do that using the same method. Okay, so thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. It's a very new channel as you can see. Please subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.